Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Salt Lake City Snowhawks expansion franchise. Welcome back to Snowhawks football. We're back here in year 3, and we're here in the preseason at Arrowhead Stadium, taking on the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. It's now year 3 of the John Gruden tenure here in Salt Lake City, and a new era here as we spent over $125 million in this past free agency, brought in a bunch of new pieces, drafted Cade Moreland at 11th overall in the draft, offensive guard, who was #1 in true talent, enters the NFL at 84 overall. Just a once-in-a-generation type offensive line prospect we have. We also added Ikem Ekonwu in free agency, drafted Jamie McLean at 28 overall as we acquired an extra first-round pick for next year as well. And here in game 1 of the preseason, we're going to watch just the first game here against the Chiefs, and then in the next game, we're going to watch offense and defense as we're now underway here officially in year 3, although just the preseason. Of course, we're still building this roster, and we're going to get a chance to look at some rookies, some newly signed players, although we're not going to feature too many high-profile guys. Patrick Mahomes is going to probably play the first series or so here for the Chiefs. We're rocking just 6-minute quarters here, and we're going to move to 8-minute quarters when we do a defense in probably game 2, and then the offense in game 3 in the preseason, as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, fresh off another Super Bowl, as they've really established their dynasty here. Andy Reid's still the head coach here, and our Salt Lake City Snowhawks, as I mentioned, a bunch of free agent signings, as that's going to be Xavier Thomas right off the rip is going to get home with a sack, rocking the baby to sleep there, as Patrick Mahomes, not really used to that, coming off another Super Bowl ring. He'll be brought down on the first snap of the preseason, as now backed up 2nd and 15. Goes a man in motion. That's Noah Gray, the backup tight end. Jason Kelsey still the man for the Chiefs. They'll give it for Pacheco, as he'll break that ahead for 7. That was second-year man Matthew Torrance on the stop. But among our free agent acquisitions, we also signed Kwity Paye and Joey Bosa to bolster our pass rush, as I think that was Kwity Paye on the quarterback hit there, making an early impact, and that will force the 4th down. Tremendous pass rush there, a power rusher. They're going to complement Joey Bosa and Xavier Thomas very well. We already saw Thomas make a big play. Also signed Quay Walker and Andrew Van Ginkel to strengthen our linebacking core, and Kendall Fuller as our top cornerback now, as we'll work that from the 30-yard line. We're going to have Jake Browning started. No need to play Lucas McDonald, who comes off a tremendous rookie season. We'll probably save him for game 3, but Jake Browning signed him last offseason to be our backup quarterback. Had a lot of interest in joining our team, so took a flyer on him, one of the better backups to Joe Burrow during his tenure in Cincinnati. As we see there, Kadarius Toney in motion, as we'll fake it. Jake Browning will dump that off for Toney. That's going to go for a 1-yard loss. Browning now at their empty, of course, a very illustrious career there at UW with the Huskies. Really helped turn them into a top-tier program. Now over the middle there, we'll hit Tylan Wallace for 8. Wallace, our expansion pick from Baltimore. Not many original expansion picks left on this team, but Tylan Wallace, one of them, and Jake Browning going to connect with the man there for the first down. That's Ray McLeod. We signed him in free agency prior to this game. And there's Cade Moreland scuffling it up there with Connor. And it's good to see the rookie, 11th overall, number 69 there at left guard, having a big impact here, defending his teammates. As you see McLeod in motion. McLeod, the leading receiver for Atlanta last year, as off the play action. Jake Browning is going to be brought down for the sack, and that'll make it 2nd and 18. Nick Bolton shot out of a cannon on that one, getting home on the linebacker blitz, not ready for that at all. And Jake Browning facing a little punishment there out of the gate. Now 2nd and 18 at the 32. We'll give to Trey Benson for the first time. Really need him to step it up here in his year 3 season. As I mentioned, we did sign Ray McLeod, was there on the free agent market, still unsigned here entering the preseason, so we're going to see if he can complement Kadarius Toney and Marvin Harrison Jr. in our receiving core. Really wanted to trade for someone, maybe Darnell Mooney, as we go screen there off the fake for Wallace, and that'll go for a loss. We really wanted to trade for Darnell Mooney, maybe even Marquise Brown here of the Chiefs, as they have really no cap room. And of course, Rashee Rice going to be a free agent here soon, as he's up to a 90 overall X Factor, I believe. And another good punt there from Matt Ariza, and good coverage there on special teams. Kansas City going to take over at the 22, just 49 seconds remaining in this first quarter. It's going to go very quickly here in this game 1. Don't want to spend too much time here in the preseason, but still want to do a little of our due diligence and be somewhat thorough. Mahomes there in the pocket, as that one's going to go incomplete. That was Andrew Van Ginkel, new to this linebacking core with Quay Walker. Of course, we also have Jack Gibbons at middle linebacker, who we signed last offseason. Another give there for Pacheco. A nice run, gets 5. Now 3rd and 5, 10 seconds remaining in the first. Mahomes, a clean pocket, going to step up and run, as he will get the first down, and that will take us into the second quarter. So now we're going to see a bunch more backups get implemented into the game, as the team, the computer just automatically switches that in the preseason. So we pretty much have all the backups set who we want to see in the second half, or I'm sorry, in the second quarter, and that includes a bunch of newly drafted rookies and even some rookies from last year who we haven't really seen much throughout the duration of this franchise. So it's going to be the backups. I think that's Walker for Kansas City, their backup quarterback, a rookie drafted in the 5th round, hooks up with Bayless there for 6. And now 2nd and 4, he's out there empty. Going to the sideline as he hooks up with a man. Nice catch there, but going to be a flag. Unnecessary roughness on rookie Nathan Scruggs, drafted 35th overall. We traded up for him. One of those last top-tier corners we wanted in the early goings. Now Walker going to maneuver a little bit, has a man over the middle, and that's going to go inside the 15 now. Walker hooks up with Justin Ross, as Kansas City now in the red zone. Walker, quick one there, has a man now inside the 5 as Kansas City, another first down. And again, that's Justin Ross, going to be 1st and goal now at the 2-yard line. This rookie Walker really commanding the offense well in his first appearance. A quick one there for the tight end, and that is not going to do it. A strong tackle there at the goal line by Andrew Van Ginkel, as that'll make it 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line. Now they come out in the power formation here. 3 tight ends, fullback, and they go with the running back there. I think that's Carson Steele, as he jumps in for the touchdown, and the Chiefs take the early lead now. And now we're going to see 5th round pick Chris Woodard out of Florida State, like 6'5", 240, that strong arm archetype. A little bit different than what we need in this offense, what our fit is, but doesn't hurt to bring in a high upside quarterback. As he comes out directly under center, going to fake the pitch, and he'll dump that off, and that's going to go for a good 8 yards out of the gate. That was Zamir White on the catch, free agent signing, coming over from Las Vegas, adding some running back depth. We also brought in Alvin Kamara. Quick one there for Woodard, has a man at the sideline, and that's going to go for 9. Correction, that goes for 11. That was last year's 5th round pick, Cortez Bibbs out of Penn State. Woodard now over the middle underneath, has Bibbs again. That'll get 3. And that does bring us to the 2-minute warning, so we need to show some sense of urgency here. 2nd and 7 now at the 49. Woodard trying to roll out, going to be brought down for a big sack. That's Drew Tranquil coming home and forcing Salt Lake City back all the way back to the 40. And Woodard does suffer its injury there, so an injury timeout now. Lucas McDonald into the game. Not what we wanted, but we'll roll with it, I guess, as a give for White. That's going to go for another loss, so 4th and 20. That's Larry Fowler, last year's 1st round pick, a D tackle. We had individually scouted, came back very highly rated, but did not end up with us, ends up with the Chiefs. And a big play there comes off a very good rookie season. Matt Ariza, another punt. Former Chief, I believe, as well, as that'll bounce for a touchback. Some time here for Kansas City. You'll see if Walker can stay clean as he rolls up, avoids some pressure. Just going to get rid of that one. Now 2nd and 10, Walker takes the snap. Swings that out in the flat for his running back, as that'll go for 8. Now 3rd and 2, Walker. Amaro almost got in for the sack, and Walker is just going to have to get rid of that one. Ben Amaro, 5th round pick from last year out of Buffalo. Got around the edge extremely well there, but Walker, good job stepping up there to avoid it, as our defense forces the 3 and out. 1:01 remaining in the half, as that's going to be punted all the way down to about the 27-yard line, and Salt Lake City will take over at the 33. I guess we will just close the half here with Lucas McDonald as he takes the snap, going to step up, run, and be brought down after 8. Snowhawks took a timeout, now 2nd and 2 at the 41. McDonald takes the snap. And miscommunication there, trying to dump it underneath, incomplete. Now make it 3rd and 2. McDonald out there empty, takes the snap. Going to roll to the right. Fires over the middle, has a man there, hooks up with Golston, undrafted free agent receiving back. As that'll move the chains. They burn their final timeout though. McDonald to the sideline has a man, as that's going to go for 5. That's undrafted free agent Perry Harris out of Auburn. return specialist, very good athlete. We'll see if he can work his way up the receiver depth chart, though. As Golston there motions out wide, McDonald takes the snap. Sits in the pocket, dumps that underneath for Marvin Harrison Jr. As that'll go for a first down. Salt Lake City, no timeouts, though, as the clock runs all the way down now. Just 3 seconds to final snap here. Is McDonald going to be break a sack, run up now. As he'll take a 10-yard scramble. Going to be 7-0 heading into halftime. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's such a short sample size. We don't have much to really comment on, but Chris Woodard, our 5th-round pick at quarterback, goes down. Hopefully nothing too serious. I was hoping to get a good glimpse of him in this preseason, but Carson Steele, the only touchdown so far. I don't expect many of them in this contest, as we are going to start with the ball, though, as we're here at the opening kickoff of the second half. Kansas City up 7-0. Hopefully we can get something going here, as I think that's Golston on the return, and so work that to the 28. McDonald's still out there. Have to change that, as he will go on a drop back. He'll be brought down for the sack. Is that 3 sacks now for Kansas City? And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. So there was a weird glitch or something. I have no option to change the depth chart, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to roll with McDonald here in the second half of this game. As he's going to roll right here now, just take off and run. And he'll work that up all the way towards the 45-yard line. Already 40 rushing yards for McDonald on 3 carries. But as I said, I have no ability to back out of this. It's just going to be a slow sim from here on out. I can't change anything, unfortunately. A lot of times in these slow sims, there are a lot of glitches. And now Fowler gets home again. The 4th sack of the day for Kansas City. And I did want to adjust the offensive line, but like I said, I cannot fix anything at this point, unfortunately. So with whatever we have is what we're going to have to roll with. And that's now 4 or 5 sacks for the Chiefs defense. I thought a quick one there underneath, and that's going to go for another 6-yard loss. Like, what are these play calls? Kansas City all over us. Now 3rd and 21, as we now have 3:30 remaining in the third. I mean, McDonald, though, the way he runs it, he can get this 21 all on his own. As he's going to step up, sets, and just whips that towards the sideline. Incomplete. Chiefs back with it now at the 20 after a touchback. Good play design there, as that'll get a first down, but a flag on the play. And that was an illegal man downfield. So 1st and 15 now, halfway through this third quarter, as they go to the ground game, and that'll get just 3. That's Myron Hoskins in the backfield at running back, 2nd-round pick from last year out of Vanderbilt, entering his 2nd year power back for the Chiefs. Walker now steps up and throws, and that one just a little off as he missed his target. Now 3rd and 12, Walker on the drop back. Going to try and maneuver and then just whips it again to the sideline. We've seen these quarterbacks just whip it out of bounds. And now 4th and 12, Kansas City punting deep in their own territory. A chance for the Snowhawks to take advantage of the field position battle. That's going to go all the way back to the 32 for a fair catch. McDonald and the offense back out there. So Chris Woodard still hurt. Might be out for the game. 2:09 remaining in the third quarter. And I'm not sure why Marvin Harrison Jr. is out there. Definitely do not have him on the depth chart. We go play action. McDonald going to whip it downfield, as he will find Harrison Jr. And that's going to go for a big gain. I want to say 40 yards, if my quick math is correct. 38 yards or so, as the two connect big time. Harrison now entering his 3rd year. McDonald into his 2nd year. And these two among the best at their position. So within the next few seasons, we might have the best quarterback wide receiver tandem in all of football, as they pick up right where they left off now, all the way down to the 28-yard line. Now up to 94 total yards for the Snowhawks. Pretty much all of that from either the arm or leg for McDonald, as we fake it to Harris. Now give up the middle for White. That goes for 2. Now a minute left here in the third quarter. McDonald directly under center. And he'll give to the back there. I'm not sure who that is. That's going to go for 7 yards. Is that Zamir White again? A nice gain for him. Now 3rd and 1. McDonald out there empty. A quick one there towards the sideline. That's going to be dropped. And that was Cortez Bibbs now. Going to go for the 37-yard field goal, as opposed to just going for it on 4th and 1. As that kick up and good. So Joshua Carty, signed as a free agent, hits his first field goal attempt. But the Snowhawks leaving some points on the board potentially. as I think you got to get a touchdown in that spot. So now into the final seconds, they fake it. Walker has a man that's going to be dropped. Good throw there, but Wiley just could not get that one. Cannot go up and get it and secure it with the man draped on him. So now just 8 seconds left, 2nd and 10. As they'll go to the ground game there for Hoskins. He'll be brought down after 1. And that will take us into the 4th quarter. Still just 7-3 here, low scoring. Lucas McDonald has got something going for us here in the second half. But as I mentioned, just getting through these games very quickly here in the preseason. As we have just 1 quarter left here in Game 1 against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. As now 39 at the 26 to start the 4th quarter. Walker takes the snap. Quick one over the middle of the field that will be caught, but short of the line to gain. As it gets tackled there by Dadrion Taylor Demerson. A holdover from that draft class we inherited from Arizona when replacing them. Haven't seen him too much, but at this point battling for a roster spot. As Kansas City, another punt going to be fielded at the 21. As that'll go for a 6-yard gain on the return up to the 27. Lucas McDonald out there with Zamir White leading this offense now. As a chance to take the lead with a touchdown. 7-0 early, get the field goal now coming out in the I formation. 5:21, they fake it. McDonald. And then just going to try and run for it. A little bit late on the decision making, sat in the pocket a little bit too long, and then when he tried to step up, Baber was there to bring him down. Now 2nd and 13, another sack. Is at 5 or 6 now surrendered by our offensive line. As we'll go to the run game there for White. A nice lane opens up. He'll get 10. White 0 yards on his previous 4 carries, but gets 10 there. Now at 10 on 5 carries. McDonald. Good spin move there off the edge, and again going to be brought down. 6 sacks for the Chiefs, absolutely tormenting our offense. 4th and 10 at the 27. Now going to have to rely on the defense to get another stop. But there is not much time left. Ariza gets that one off. Another strong kick all the way down to the 18-19 yard line. As we'll get the tackle there at the 29. So 2nd down here from the Chiefs. Walker just threw the first one away. That time has a man open. And that's going to go for a good gain all the way across midfield. That was Hoskins out of the backfield. You don't expect him to be making an impact in the passing game. And now Walker out there empty. The Chiefs in Salt Lake City territory. Just dumps that off. And that'll go for 7. Jerry Sexton, 3rd round pick out of Washington. Hidden development linebacker, number 46 there on defense. As this will bring us into the 2-minute warning. 7-3 here, Kansas City in the driver's seat. As they can bring this one home if they can just get another first down or 2. And just kill the rest of this clock. Salt Lake City need 2 more stops here. Only the Chiefs have 3 yards to gain for them as they will go to the ground game. They will get the first down as Hoskins is going to move the chains again. Only 1 more timeout remaining for the Snowhawks. First down. And they'll get to Carson Steele. Strong run gets 6 as Salt Lake City burns their final timeout. 2nd and 4 now at the 30. They'll go back for Hoskins and again going to get a first down. And that might all but do it here as Kansas City will take to the victory formation. And as I've stressed, these 6-minute quarters here in the preseason super quick, so we're not going to get the best stats, but now bumping them up to 8 minutes, I hope that kind of evens it out from what we had here in Game 1. But really not much to note. McDonald, of course, came in to relieve Chris Woodard. We got stuck here in this glitch, so we couldn't fix the depth chart how I wanted. Hopefully next game we can be a little more on top of that. As now 3rd down, the final knee here. I guess they don't even have to knee it. As Kansas City going to be 1-0, defending their Super Bowl very well here, even though it is just the preseason, as they take this one 7-3. And now we're here in Salt Lake City for the first time in this Year 3 season, taking on the Cleveland Browns. We're going to do defense in this game against Cleveland, go over to the offense in the final game, as we'll take on Buffalo next week out. But you see there David Njoku, Deshaun Watson still at quarterback for this Browns team, although they do have a second-year man, Emmett Dalton, out of Miami, 2nd-round pick from last year's draft, who is trying to compete and steal that job. I think Watson still a couple years on that huge contract he signed. As we're here at the opening kickoff, and we are now underway here in week 2 of this Year 3 preseason. Cleveland going to return that from about the 1-yard line. We'll get a look at the Snowhawks defense, some new faces, some rookies. As we'll see there, Deshaun Watson, his 4th, 5th year now as the Browns quarterback. and it really hasn't been all that pleasant. Started off very hot last year, but did not end up well. Now it's 73 overall. We did make him available in that expansion draft, as Cleveland was trying to see if the Snowhawks would bite on that, but they elected to go a different route at quarterback. And now Watson going to start out there empty, but that was a route we could go when building this team. We could have had Deshaun Watson as our quarterback, but probably just not the best decision to make with that big contract he has. But a missed tackle there as Watson hooks up with a man for 10 yards. And we did move the quarter length up to 8 minutes now, as we're just going to watch one side of the ball. First down now up to the 37 for Cleveland. Watson going to get to Nick Chubb, still hanging around here with the Browns. Dak Kitchen's second-year man out of Oklahoma on the tackle. Very good contributor last year. A very strong finish to the season. Had a game where he had a sack, a tackle for loss, a forced fumble, and an interception. Just an absurd day he had that week, and now we're going to go to the sideline for 6. Now 3rd and 4 for the Browns at the 43. Watson backtracks in the pocket there, has a man underneath, and that's going to go for a big gain. That one for 17, and that's Quincy Noble's 6th-round pick out of Michigan. He came out of nowhere last season, had over 1,000 receiving yards, and I was wondering, has a receiver ever, a rookie receiver that is, drafted 6th round or less, ever gone for 1,000 in their rookie year? I'm not sure. I guess Puka Nacua, I'm not sure, was he a 5th-round pick? He might have been up there, as Cleveland a first down now at the 40-yard line. In last year's draft, they got Quincy Nobles in the 6th round and also drafted Emmanuel Rhodes 6th overall, although he had about half, and there is Emmanuel Rhodes right on cue, drops that one. He had about half the receiving yards as Nobles, despite being drafted in the top 10 of the draft. Nobles in the 6th round, now 2nd down after the drop. Get back to Nick Chubb, and he's going to be plastered there in the backfield. Xavier Thomas, another strong impact early on. I think also 2nd-year man Caleb Patton getting home as well. Caleb Patton, 7 sacks as a rookie, 4th-round pick out of San Diego State. Now 3rd and long for Cleveland. Watson scrambling, going to be brought down again. That one for a sack, and again that's Caleb Patton picking up right where he left off from last season. And we expect big things from him now into his sophomore campaign. Punt there goes for a touchback, so we'll just quick sim the offense here. Jake Browning incomplete there on 1st down. 2nd and 10, another incompletion. And 3rd and 10, he goes 0 for 3. Devin Bush knocking away that pass. Now Cleveland back with it at the 42. The offense goes 3 and out, not how you wanted them to start. Deshaun Watson back out there just about halfway through this first quarter. Delay give there for Chubb. This will be brought down by Thomas after 2. Now 2nd and 8. Watson going to step up quickly, and he'll be brought down. I think that was Isaiah Simmons, who will get credited with the sack, trying to earn another roster spot after signing Quay Walker, Andrew Van Ginkel, drafting Sexton, as Watson hit hard there off the blitz. Now let's see if Jake Browning and the offense can get anything going. We'll get 6 yards there for Trey Benson. Now 2nd and 4, another 5 yards for him. 1st down, 10 yards there for Ray McLeod, who I mentioned we did just sign prior to this preseason, as he was still hanging on there in the market. 2nd and 1, we get another 13 to Ray McLeod. And now 7 for Tayon Palmer. 8 yards for Benson. Now moving the chains here as we start this second quarter. 1st and 10 at the 36. Jake Browning still out there, throws it away. 5 yards for Benson, now 3rd and 5. And we get 19 yards to Palmer trying to earn a roster spot. And an interception from Malik Harrison. And that's going to be a bad turnover there in the red zone, as Salt Lake City will come back out on defense, leaving some points on the board. Cleveland now at the 15. So I guess now they do leave the starters in for, I guess, 2 quarters now here in game 2. As miscommunication there, Watson fires incomplete. Watson now directly under center will give back to Chubb, and he'll be brought down there after a minimal gain. Another very strong play there against Xavier Thomas, having an impact against the run and the pass. And now 3rd down for Cleveland, as Watson trying to go up the seam there for his man. That was Nate Scruggs in coverage, as that pass was off. We'll leave the starters out for one more drive. Jake Browning, another incompletion, not having the best day, although he gets another 29 there for McLeod. So McLeod and Palmer having huge days so far. 3-yard rush there from Browning. Now 2nd and 7, and he throws another interception, this time Elijah Molden. So Jake Browning not having a good day with multiple interceptions pretty much in the red zone. I'm not sure if that last one was in the red zone, but either way, you're close enough, leaving a lot of points on the board. Still scoreless here in Salt Lake City. Deshaun Watson back out there as he drops back, going to fire deep down the field, and that will be caught by Quincy Nobles. Or is that's Rhodes, Emmanuel Rhodes, the number 6 overall pick from last season, going up and getting it, working against Adrian Taylor Demerson in coverage there as a back safety. I'm not sure who was there in man coverage at corner, though. Good throw from Watson, as that was, I think, Elijah Jones getting beat. Taylor Demerson a little late there in help, but a big play there from Cleveland. Now 1st and goal at the 6-yard line as we are about to reach the halfway point of this second quarter. Nick Chubb, another give, tackled by Jake Gibbons. 2nd and goal at the 4. Watson. Roll to the right, and Caleb Patton almost had him, and Watson able to maneuver away from him there in close quarters, and he dives in for the touchdown, the first touchdown of the day. Of course, our Snowhawks had 2 interceptions there deep in Cleveland territory, and Patton was there. I think Kwity Paye almost there to make a stop as well, but Watson able to work around them, find the end zone. Cleveland now up with 3:22 remaining in the half, as it'll be now 7-0 with that extra point. After the kickoff, we'll take over at the 19. We put Chris Woodard in at quarterback, the rookie out of Florida State. 6-yard rush for Tony. Now 21 yards for Tony. Chris Woodard now in at quarterback, 2 yards for Zamir White. Now 2nd and 8 incompletion. So a 3rd and 8 now at the 49, and that's going to be dropped by Ray McLeod. Now Cleveland takes over at the 20. 2:12 left in the half, probably their last drive here. We'll see if the Snowhawks can continue this strong play, get a stop. And that's going to be intercepted by Nate Scruggs. We traded up to 35 overall for him. The rookie, the last corner we really had to choose from there in that top tier. Nathan Scruggs gets the interception, changing the tide here late in the half. And it's good to see that corner we traded up for. We gave up a bunch of picks, packaged a few 5s. I think a 6 and a 7 even maybe there to trade up in the 2nd round. Nathan Scruggs there working in man coverage against Quincy Nobles as he gets the advantage. Now a prime spot here in the red zone, taking over after the turnover, and Jake Browning going to be sacked there, a 10-yard loss. I'm not sure why Browning's back in there. If Woodard maybe got hurt again, Browning another incompletion. So 3rd and 12 promptly. Myles Garrett had that huge sack, and we get 25 yards for the first down to Palmer. Now 1st and goal at the 4, and again a sack there. Jake Browning loses 7. That's Chauncey Golston that time. Now 2nd and goal at the 10. And we get 9 yards for Tony. Now 3rd and goal at the 1. Just power it in. Get this touchdown, and we do get it there with Trey Benson, as we do tie it up here with 33 seconds remaining in the half. And now with 29 seconds remaining, you don't think the Browns are going to do anything too crazy at this spot, although they do still have 3 timeouts to work with. Thomas there almost had the inside leverage, a good pass rush regardless, but that one goes incomplete over the middle of the field, as it's now 2nd down. Watson going to go to the sideline there, has a man wide open, and Scruggs will make the tackle. Watson now at 100 yards even. A 3rd and short here at the 38, 20 seconds remaining. Watson going to try and step up, and again going to be sacked. That was Caleb Patton and Xavier Thomas again teaming up for the stop. A very strong showing from our defensive front so far. In the last game, it was Kansas City getting the better of us, but now our defense coming alive. We'll start on offense at the 30-yard line here. Chris Woodard now back at quarterback, gets 13 yards for Palmer. His big day continues. Malik Harrison out on the play. -2 there for Zamir White. Now 2nd and 12. We'll get 9 yards for Perry Harris, undrafted free agent out of Auburn. 3rd and 3. We get just 2 yards for White. So 4th and 1. I think we're going to kick it here as we do. That goes for a touchback. And now Cleveland with it. 6:09 remaining in the 3rd. Tie game here. Emmett Dalton in at quarterback. 2nd round pick from last year out of Miami. Goes for the run there on the stretch. Fighting there to the outside, but no gain. Dak Kitchens on the stop. 220 total yards for Salt Lake City. A very good offensive showing, but just 7 points to show for it. And now 2nd and 10. Dalton again going to try and set up a screen, as they do get it. Up the sideline now for the 1st down, but there was a flag. Dak Kitchens again on the stop, but might be coming back. Disregard, that was a roughing the passer on D tackle Eric Alden, 7th round pick last year out of LSU, trying to earn a roster spot. More than likely going to end up on the practice squad. Going to set up a screen again here, as that's going to go for another nice gain. And this will be forced out there at the 39. That's Trevante Reddick, rookie running back out of Michigan, drafted in the 3rd round. Maybe the successor here to Nick Chubb. You would think he's gone in a few more seasons at the very most at this point in the franchise. Dalton now on the drop back, going to have a man over the middle, and that was dropped. So 2nd and 10. Good coverage though on that play. 2nd and 10 at the 39, back for Reddick, and this will be brought down there by Nathan Scruggs. 8 yards for Reddick, rookie on rookie that time. That's now 3rd and 2 at the 32. Dalton handoff again for Reddick. I still will find the first down. Good running so far from Reddick on these runs. These handoffs also on the screens. Having a good day so far in this one now. Cleveland comes out with a heavy offensive line. They'll go with the screen though. Good design. As that will be brought down by Nathan Scruggs, 9 yards. Now 2nd and 1 in the red zone. Tight end there in motion, back the other way. Dalton sits in the pocket, going to try and roll to the left now, and he will be brought down for the sack. That's Ben Amaro, second-year man out of Buffalo, drafted in the 5th round last year. We've seen some flashes. He hasn't been out there too much, but we've seen some flashes over the last season or so to this point. We also see Joey Bosa on the field, as we have yet to unveil him. Didn't want him out in this spot, but good to see him getting some reps at least. But it's Ben Amaro there that time, getting home for the sack. And Cleveland does have one of the worst offensive lines in the league, so we're certainly taking advantage here today. 3rd and 10 now. Dalton, quick one over the middle, has a man for the first down and then some, as that's going to go all the way down to the 6-yard line. That's George Swede, 3rd round pick out of West Virginia. Hidden development tight end, and they're hoping he can develop a nice tandem here with David Njoku, as Cleveland now inside the 10, 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. That's Swede there, the motion man, as Dalton takes the snap. That's going to be deflected at the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, George Swede might have had a good opportunity. Now 2nd and goal. Dalton gives to Reddick, and he'll be stopped there at the line. Now 3rd and goal. Dalton on the drop back. Going to go to the near sideline. Has a man, but they could not get the angle there out at the 1-yard line. We'll see what they elect to do. I'm going to assume they keep the offense out there. That one goes for 5. So 4th and goal now, pretty much at the inch-yard line. See who wins this battle. Dalton going to throw it, as he has a man open there underneath. That's George Swede, the aforementioned tight end. No touchdown catches in his rookie season, but he gets one here. A good start to his sophomore campaign. As I said, they expect him to hopefully turn into a nice tandem there at tight end with David Njoku, both very polarizing tight ends, as Cleveland takes the lead. Now just 34 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter, 14-7. 10-yard penalty against the offense. That's undrafted free agent KJ Lewis at left tackle. Now 1st and 20. We get 5 back there for a pass to Zamir White, as it's now going to be 3rd and 13 to start the 4th, and we get just 10 yards for Perry Harris. So going to punt again here, as that goes for a touchback. So Salt Lake City remaining to be a little inefficient on offense. Cleveland back out there, going to maybe try and run this one down, or they get back to Reddick, no gain. 2nd and 10 now, 7 minutes left in this matchup. 14-7 Cleveland. Dalton takes the snap. Going to try and set up a screen. They do get it there for Reddick, as he will get the corner, gets 9. Now 3rd and 1 coming out there heavy. Fullback out there as a lead blocker. They will get for Reddick, and he's going to be stopped just after getting the first down. So at the skill positions between Emmett Dalton at quarterback, Trevante Reddick at running back, they have a couple good young receivers there in Emmanuel Rhodes, Quincy Nobles, and then George Swede at tight end, as that pass incomplete, but a flag on the play. And that was a defensive pass interference call, but as I was saying, they have pretty good young players at the skill positions, but just no offensive line, so hopefully that's the focus they go with from here on out in the upcoming off seasons. 5-yard completion there now, 2nd and 5. Dalton on the drop back. Now he's going to be chased and be brought down for the sack. That's KJ Henry out there in place of the injured Dom Gilmore, which is why we saw Joey Bosa out there. Now Emmett Dalton, maybe his wrist a little shaken up. It looks like he was throwing the non-throwing hand. So that'll bring out now, I want to say that might be Emory Jones. As now 5 minutes left in this. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR out there. So he gets a quick hook up there, and that's going to convert on 3rd and 18. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, formerly of UCLA, has been with Cleveland quite a while at this point, as he'll get for Reddick, and that's going to get a few. Or I'm sorry, correction, that gets 0, stopped at the line. Now 2nd and 10. Thompson-Robinson in the pocket, being chased now, going to try and roll out, and just gets rid of that one. Now 3rd and 10, defense needs a stop on this 3rd and long. Thompson-Robinson has a man, and that's to go incomplete, so our defense gets the job done. 3:41 remaining in this game. And of course, the punt goes down at the 1-yard line, so we're going to have to drive the length of the field here if we want to tie it up all the way from our own 1-yard line. And that's going to go for a safety, as it took just one play. So the punter gets some points on the board for Cleveland, make it a 2-possession game now, 16-7. And just like that, we are back out there on defense. 234 total yards for Salt Lake City, but really nothing on the scoreboard to show for it as they go back to the running game there. Gets 2. DTR directly under center as he will give back for Reddick, and he'll be brought down that time after 1. And with that, we do hit the 2-minute warning, so another 3rd down here for Cleveland. See if our defense can get the stop. DTR going to try and roll as he will be sacked again. That's going to be a big loss that time. It's Moro Ojimo from Texas. We brought him over from Philly back in year 1 off their practice squad, and he's been hanging around trying to earn a roster spot, but the odds are against him, but certainly playing better than Eric Alden, another reserve D tackle. So Cleveland punting from the 42-yard line will take over at the 27. 2 yards there from Chris Woodard. 6 yards for Chauncey Washington, rookie tight end out of Georgia. And they go back-to-back there now. A penalty again against KJ Lewis. Less than a minute left in this game. 6 yards for Zamir White. And there's now just 1 timeout remaining. We get 14 yards for Tylan Wallace. And then a 2-yard rush from Woodard. So just 27 seconds, no more timeouts. 4 yards for Perry Harris. 1 more play probably. 15 for Taywan Palmer. And that will do it here in Salt Lake City as we fall 16-7. We had some glimpses on offense, but just overall, those 2 turnovers in the red zone from Jake Browning, those 2 interceptions, of course, held us back as Cleveland able to take advantage in those spots. It was good to see Nathan Scruggs have an interception of his own, our rookie, drafted in the 2nd round. We had some good hits in the passing game. Our pass rush really came alive here, taking advantage of a poor Cleveland offensive line, but kind of bizarre that we couldn't come out of here with a win, as now we're just 2/3 of the way through this preseason, 1 game remaining. I do want to look at the box score in this one, though, just because we had more stats to work with compared to last game. So we see Browning 7 for 15, 112. So the yards per attempt, not that bad, but the interceptions just inexcusable. Whereas Woodard, our 5th round pick was 11 for 13, 109, 84% completion. So maybe he could pass up Browning as our backup, rushing just 5 for 1 for Zamir White. Took a safety, but great to see Trey Benson get going, 525 for a touchdown. Taywan Palmer had 5 for 79, 15.8 per. Ray McLeod, 3 for 52, 17.3 per. Did have a drop. And then rookies Perry Harris, Chauncey Washington making a little impact. A sack allowed from Ikem Ekonwu and Randy Samuels. I think Myles Garrett was in on that, so you can't really fault Ekonwu too much in that spot. Now Nathan Scruggs, our rookie corner, 9 tackles, 2 for loss, a half sack, and an interception. What a game he had. 6 tackles for Derrick Forrest, 3 for loss for Patton, along with a sack and a half. Ben Amaro, 2 tackles for loss, a sack. Quan Beverly, signed him as an undrafted free agent last season, 2 tackles for loss. 2nd-year man out of USC, Xavier Thomas, Dak Kitchens, Nathan Scruggs, 2 tackles for loss. So very impactful there against the run. 4 punts for Matt Ariza at an even 200 yards. And we'll keep it moving along here. We'll jump into this final preseason game here as we're back at Snowhawks Stadium hosting the Buffalo Bills. Wild card spot in last year's playoff, although I believe they were exited in the 1st round in a matchup there against the Kansas City Chiefs. But our final game here, 0-2, definitely want to get in the win column at least once in this preseason. So it all comes down to this matchup. Still, we're not going to really see new guys like Mark Andrews, Marvin Harrison Jr. We're not going to throw those top players out there. We'll just leave them for week 1. Even Lucas McDonald, we saw him a little bit in the first game, so we're not going to have him on the field at all here today. We'll just focus on Jake Browning and Chris Woodard at quarterback and continue to mix in these other running backs such as Zamir White and that undrafted free agent we signed, along with those receivers such as Palmer and Harris, as we're now underway here in game 3 of this year 3 preseason. Buffalo is going to start with the ball, so we'll just look at this opening kickoff and then simulate defense as a nice one there. They get to the 38-yard line. Of course, Josh Allen leads the charge for this Buffalo Bills team as they start at -2-yard rush there from James Cook. 2nd and 12, pass knocked away by Elijah Jones. So a quick 3rd and long forced by the Salt Lake City defense. They get 8 yards for Dalton Kincaid, so 4th down as they are going to punt, and we'll take over at the 20. Jake Browning starting again here in game 3. 2 interceptions last time out. Looking to get it a little bit more right this time. We'll start a give there for Trey Benson, goes for -2. Terrell Bernard, a pending free agent there, in on the stop, a captain on this Buffalo defense, now 2nd and 12. Man in motion, I believe that's Cortez Bibbs, as we'll swing that out for Tylan Wallace, and he gets up the sideline there for the first down. Nice run after the catch that time on the screen. And now first down to the 33. Benson swings out as Browning gonna maneuver there in the pocket, has a man open at the sideline against that. That's Wallace as that goes across midfield. We mentioned Wallace, one of the last few remaining expansion picks still on this roster, got him from Baltimore. Now Browning in the pocket, going to try and step up. He'll be brought down for the sack. That's Carter getting home. And our offensive line gave up a bunch of sacks there in game 1 against Kansas City. And now being exposed early on, backed up 2nd and 17. Back to our own 45. Browning now at their empty. And so he'll take the snap. Browning still in the pocket over the middle of the field as that goes off the hands. Ray McLeod, the intended target, but I think the Buffalo DB got a hand in on that. That's Benford making a good play down the field there in coverage. Now 3rd and 17 for the Salt Lake City offense. Man in motion there. Ray McLeod to the bottom of the screen. Will fake it for Benson. Browning going to try to evade the rush and going to be ripped down there by Greg Rousseau off the right tackle there, making a play. One of the top pass rushers now in the AFC. The 2nd highest rated player on this Buffalo roster behind Josh Allen, who's at 99 overall. So we punt it for a touchback. The Buffalo offense back out there. They get 20 yards for James Cook in the passing game. And now 5 yards for Shakir. 2nd and 5. They get a 7-yard scramble from Josh Allen, a first down. 6-yard rush from Cook. Now 2nd and 4. They get 7 yards again in the passing game to Cook. 9-yard scramble from Allen. 2nd and 1. They get the first down to Jahan Dotson, who signs with Buffalo after spending the last 2 seasons in Salt Lake City. 2nd and 10. They get 9 yards for James Cook. First down, 1st and goal, -3 for Cook. Now 2nd and goal backed up to the 9. And they get 6 yards, so 3rd and goal at the 3 now. And that's incomplete. So we'll see what they do here on 4th and goal, as they just elect to go for the field goal. So Tyler Bass gets him on the board as Buffalo leads here 3-0, 6:50 remaining in this half. Our second look at this offense, Jake Browning back out there as we'll go to Chris Woodard in the second half. Man in motion. I think that's Palmer, had a really big game too. As Benson trying to get that outside, no gain. 2nd and 10, Browning directly under center this time. Again, Palmer there in motion. As we'll fake it to Benson. Browning going to dump that out for Bibbs. He makes the catch for 4. 3rd and 6 at the 26. Browning takes the snap. Has a man down the field, just out of the reach there for Tajuan Palmer down the field. Browning a decent ball there, just a slightly bit overthrown. As again, we'll have to punt. 52 yards there from Ariza. Goes all the way back to the 22. They start 5 yards for James Cook. 2nd and 5, they get the first down. 6 yards to Treylon Burks now here in Buffalo. So another 6 yards for Cook. 7 yards for Allen on the ground. 10 yards for Keon Coleman, 2nd and inches. And they get 8 yards for Cook. Now 1st and 10. They get another 10 yards on the ground from Allen. He's probably close to 50 rushing yards by now as Dotson. Another catch. Now 1st and 10 at the 18. That's going to be a penalty against Dak Kitchens. Now 1st and goal at the 6. Buffalo in a prime spot, although thrown away there. Now 2nd and goal. 4 yards to Shakir. 3rd and goal at the 2. And Khalil Shakir, a rushing touchdown that time. You don't really see that much. And now just 53 seconds left in the half. We'll see if our offense can get a quick scoring drive here. Browning going to go at their empty. Still all our timeouts trailing 10-0 now. Browning to the sideline, going to be intercepted. Already his 3rd interception now of the preseason. Going to try and make the tackle as he does help out there with Ikem Ekonwu. And Browning struck a pose there, but that's Jamison McCoy, 2nd-year man out of Texas A&M, first-round pick in last year's draft. The Buffalo Bills have invested at corner in the first round. The past 2 drafts, Jamil Stoutmeyer this past year and then Jamison McCoy last year, playing there in man coverage against Tylan Wallace, who's been heavily targeted here in this first half of play, but too good there. Jamison McCoy on the outside, and he made Jake Browning pay. So Buffalo now at the 13-yard line. Another opportune spot throwaway. 2nd down, they get 13-yard touchdown there for Keon Coleman, as it's now 17-0, and now we'll take back over 28 seconds left here in the first half of play. Jake Browning, his last few snaps here of the preseason, and depending how Woodard plays, I mean, he might outplay him for the backup spot, although Browning has been going against some ones here, so maybe not fair comparison, as Cortez Bibbs, a nice catch there to midfield. Snowhawks take their first time out. 22 seconds remaining here at the 50. Browning another quick one there as a man that's going to go for 7 or so. That was Ray McLeod. And they burn their second timeout now up to the 41, 2nd and 2. Browning takes the snap, going to fake it. Sits in the pocket, going to go downfield. And that's going to be dropped in the end zone by Ray McLeod. It was in the hands, but two guys there. Good throw from Browning, kind of threading the needle in double coverage down the field. But Ray McLeod just could not hang on what would have been a touchdown. Now 3rd and 2. 10 seconds remaining. Browning on the drop back. Just going to dump that off for Wallace. Makes another grab here. And they are going to call a timeout. So 34 seconds remaining. That might have pushed them into field goal range. They'll bring on Joshua Carty, newly signed here from the Rams. On here for a 51-yard attempt. Just his second field goal attempt of the preseason. As that one is up and good. So Salt Lake City, a nice drive here to close things out. They do get on the board. Buffalo up big though, 17-3. Now to start the second half, Chris Woodard, rookie out of Florida State, 5th round pick out there at quarterback. See if he can replicate last week's performance, completed about 80%. Now this time just going to aimlessly wander back in the pocket. And Greg Rousseau going to get home for his second sack. That one back for 13, matching the jersey number there of Chris Woodard. Not sure why Greg Rousseau is still out there. You know, we're getting on our 3rd and 4th stringers at this point. Buffalo still playing their ones. And now 2nd and 23. Woodard going to go to the sideline this time. A minimal gain. As that's a nice catch though at the sideline. Going to move it up 6 yards. I guess a little bit more manageable of a 3rd down, but still 3rd in an eternity here at 3rd and 17. Wallace there motions to the bottom of the screen. Woodard fakes and going to be sacked again twice here on this opening drive of the second half. That time Ed Oliver, one of the top D tackles in the game, getting in on the action. And now Woodard greeted not too pleasantly to start his day here at home. A rise of just a 42-yard punt, or a 44-yard punt. Josh Allen, 8-yard rush. He's just killing it on the ground here. 3rd and 2 at the 50. They convert 4 yards for James Cook. Now 12 yards to Khalil Shakir. Throw away 2nd and 10 now. They get 9 yards to Shakir. 3rd and 1. Incomplete. So 4th and 1 to 25. And they do go for the field goal. That's Tyler Bass, 42-yard field goal. So now 20-3 with 4:11 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Total yardage 208 to just 69 for Salt Lake City. Really need to get something going on this drive. That's Perry Harris in motion there to the top of the screen. Woodard now on the drop back over the middle as the man splits that into tight coverage. And again, Tylan Wallace, his 4th catch of the day, 61 yards now, as that moves it up to the 48-yard line. Going to be our wide receiver 4, maybe even worthy of jumping ahead of Ray McLeod on the depth chart. As Wallace there in motion, fake the jet touch pass. Woodard now as a man there out of the reach, I think, there of Palmer, as they've struggled to connect here. Now 2nd and 10. Woodard takes the snap, going to give to the back there. That's Zamir White, going to be taken down for a 3-yard loss. Jamison McCoy, an interception earlier. Now the tackle for loss. Our running game has really struggled to get going here. And now another 3rd and very long for Salt Lake City. Woodard out there empty. Zamir White there in motion, sits back to block here in pass protection. Woodard going to go down the field, and that's going to be knocked down as Tavon Palmer, the intended target. Taylor Rapp there in coverage with Cole Bishop. A very good tandem here for Buffalo, as again Salt Lake City going to have to punt. Josh Allen, another 9 yards on the ground. Throwaway, so now 3rd and 1. They get 11 yards to Dawson Knox. 3-yard rush from Cook. As down -1 there from Cook. 3rd and 7. As we do not get the stop. 1st down Buffalo here in the final seconds of the 3rd. They get 5 yards for Dotson. So 2nd and 5 to start. As they go 3 yards here for Ray Davis. Now a 3rd and 3. And just 2 yards. So 4th and 1 at the 36. Another field goal there from Tyler Bass. Now 3 for 3 on the day. 23-3 Buffalo. The offense back out there, still under 100 yards on the day, as we're now here into the final 7 minutes of the preseason. 6:58 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Woodard, second read, just going to check it down towards the sideline, gets 1 yard. At this point, I'll just take one touchdown. Just give us one here to close out the preseason. Woodard on 2nd and 9, going to be almost intercepted. Again, I think that might have been Jamison McCoy, as it was. A huge day for him so far, trying to establish himself as one of the top up-and-coming young corners in the NFL. Now here on 3rd and 9, Woodard sitting in the pocket underneath there has a man. It's going to be Perry Harris, the undrafted free agent Looking to be ripped down there. Short of the line to gain. We'll see if we're going to go for it, as we are going to bring out the offense here as we hit the final 6 minutes of this game. 4th and 3 at the 37. Woodard directly under center. And he will give it to the back there. Golston, the undrafted free agent, trying to redirect a little bit too much there. Should have just hit the run lane there with more authority, as he fails to convert there. Denied. And we might get another chance on offense at least, but Buffalo here, another prime spot inside the 40. 2nd and 6. They get 6 yards from Manny Cooper. 3rd and 1. They get 4 from Ray Davis. Really is just relying on the running game now. 5 yards for Davis. Now 2nd and goal. Hendon Hooker passed there for 5 yards to the goal line. Incomplete. 4th and goal now at the 1. And they go for it and they get it. Hendon Hooker there to Dawson Knox, as Buffalo has really busted this one open now, up 30-3. And 2:56 remaining in this preseason. Certainly did not go as planned. I don't expect the regular season to go as bad as this preseason did. Of course, playing a lot of backups, a lot of lower level guys. As undrafted free agent there, Perry Harris makes the catch. And that moves us up to the 42-yard line. I think Harris might make the roster with his versatility as a return man. And now we're another quick one over the middle, as he connects with fellow rookie again there, Perry Harris, as that takes us into the 2-minute warning. Now 2nd and 4, 2 backs out there for Salt Lake City. Woodard gonna fire there, and that's miscommunication again there with Perry Harris a little bit behind him, as that was an open man there for the first down. And 3rd and 4, Salt Lake City just 1 third down conversion all game. 3rd and 4 here at the 48. Tylan Wallace, the motion man, to the top of the screen as they fake it to Golston. Woodard going to be hit as he got rid of that one, so couldn't get rid of it cleanly, as that goes incomplete. So 4th and 4 now. We'll see if we can convert this time. Setting up shop here at the 48, trying to get it into Buffalo territory. Woodard, time to throw in the pocket, going to try and step up and run, as he'll be brought down there from behind. Ripped down for the sack, and again Buffalo forces the turnover on downs. Now just 1:48 remaining. Going to have to think they just settle this one with a few runs, a few knees, and call it a day. A very bad display here from our Salt Lake City Snowhawks in front of the home fans to close it out. But as I said, we kind of, relied a lot more on our backups, our undrafted free agents, the guys, really trying to earn a roster spot or even a spot on our practice squad. But we certainly have some things to look at. Overall, I think we have the pretty much, the framework of what our roster is going to look like, but still some spots that guys are battling for. I do expect to keep all 3 quarterbacks, and we'll see how the running back or the backfield shapes up, our receivers and tight ends, our offensive line, and of course the entire defense. So we'll look at some stats here to close out this episode before making our final preseason cuts and establishing our 53-man roster heading into week 1 of this year 3 season. So now looking here at our final stats, only about 63 total pass attempts between our 3 quarterbacks. Browning led in passing yards at 197, but 17 for 29, 3 interceptions, 58%, whereas Chris Woodard, our rookie, completed 20 out of 27 for 74%, 179 yards. Lucas McDonald, just a few series there in game 1, was pretty solid, made a lot of plays with his legs. And now going to rushing, really not much to note here. Trey Benson, 8 for 24, just a touchdown. We've really struggled to get the running game going in these live look-ins. Zamir White, 11 for just 8 yards, took his safety. Golston, just one carry for 2 yards, as he was stuffed there on that 4th down. Receiving Tylan Wallace, 7 for 82. Taywon Palmer, 5 for 79. Ryer McLeod, 5 for 64. Perry Harris, a very good job there as an undrafted free agent. 7 for 52, so just 7.4 yards per catch, but he made a pretty constant impact. Harrison Jr., 2 for 43. Cortez Bibbs, 4 for 38. Tony White. We have Chauncey Washington, 7th round pick with hidden development at tight end, 3 for 17. Dorian Golston had 2 catches for 10 yards there out of the backfield. On the offensive line, 2 sacks allowed by Randy Samuels on just 57 snaps. 1 allowed by Christian Jones. Brady Christensen on just 24 snaps allowed a sack. Will McMahon, an undrafted guy from last year. Ike Conwu. Cade Moreland, our 11th overall pick, had 1 sack allowed in 55 snaps. And then Jamie McLean, another 1st round pick, got him 28th overall. So 2 1st round picks from this past draft are going to probably be week 1 starters on the offensive line. Isaiah Adams, very good preseason, no sacks allowed with the most downs played there at 67. Cade Mays, a good showing as well as KJ Lewis, no sacks allowed on 54 snaps, the undrafted guy out of Central Michigan, although he had his fair share of penalties, but probably going to be a practice squad guy, maybe even a depth guy on the overall roster. Nathan Scruggs led in tackles. You really don't want your corner having all these tackles, but a very good showing from him. 2 for a loss, a half sack, an interception. Pretty much all that in that one game we saw him. Jerry Sexton, 3rd-round pick out of UW. 12 tackles with a pass deflection. Double-digit tackles also here for Dak Kitchens and Derrick Forrest. Kyrie Cherry, undrafted guy out of Butler. Quan Beverly, 8 tackles for him, 2 for loss. 7 tackles for Xavier Thomas, 5 for loss. A sack and a half. Led our team in tackles for loss, 3 for Caleb Patton. Also had a sack and a half leading the way there with Thomas. Scruggs, Kitchens, Beverly, Amaro, each with 2 tackles for loss. 1 for Neiman, Simmons, Ojimo, Kwity Paye, Jordan Walker, an undrafted guy who made the roster last year. KJ Henry came on for a half sack as well. Interceptions, just 1 there was Nathan Scruggs. Pass deflections, 2 from Elijah Jones, 1 from Sexton, Bosa, Taylor Demerson, and Kwity Paye. I don't think we had any forced fumbles. No safeties. Kicking, Joshua Carty was 2 for 2. Only 1 touchdown scored in those 3 games, so just 1 for 1 on extra points. Matt Ariza, 12 punts, our MVP of the preseason. 53.8 average, 48.8 net, which is very good with 7 touchbacks. Golston, pretty solid as a kick returner, 4 for 90, 26 long. Punt returning, Dak Kitchens, 2 for 9, led the way. And now we can get into cuts. We see here at the bottom, Chauncey Washington, we just mentioned him, 6'7", 236, a big project at tight end, but love the hidden development, 22 years old, a lot of potential. More than likely just going to stash him on the practice squad. Eric Alden, probably just a practice squad guy. Probably the same here with Dorian Golston. Taylor Tyson, undrafted free agent out of Kansas State. Devontae Gary, not sure if he's going to stick around. So we'll just go by position, starting at quarterback. Like we said, we're probably going to keep all 3 of these guys. It may be beneficial to keep Browning as our backup at least 1 more season while Woodard sits behind him, just develops a little bit more. I don't feel comfortable putting him on the practice squad because then he'll probably get signed by another team. Now at running back, we're going to have Trey Benson, Alvin Kamara, Zamir White, and Golston. I think he's a good receiving back to throw in the practice squad and groom into a potential receiving back role that Kamara is going to currently have now into his age 31 season. So Golston, move him there to the practice squad. We'll have Kerry Blasingame still as our fullback at wide receiver. I really like Perry Harris. Taywan Palmer kind of played himself into a roster spot, which would give us 6 receivers. So I don't really mind going with 6 receivers, depending on if we need to make a final cut there towards the end. So tight end kind of overloaded here. Mark Andrews, of course, our big free agent acquisition. Going to be the guy. Tip Ryman has been super reliable in his first 2 seasons. 6'4", 273. A good compliment there to Mark Andrews. Cortez Bibbs, might throw him on the practice squad. I still do like him at 68 overall, 23 years old. And then we get to Mo Ali Cox, which I'm not sure now at age 32. Our expansion pick from Indianapolis. He's sunk down the depth chart at this point, and we will save some money, I think, if we cut him. Or actually, we'll lose like $2 million, but whatever. We have plenty of cap space. So Mo Ali Cox, he was a very good player for us over the first 2 seasons. Our starter at tight end, but now with Mark Andrews, a couple younger guys here, just really no room for him as he starts to regress. But thank you for your service, Mo Ali Cox. So now down 1 more player from that expansion draft. Of course, we brought him over from the Colts, as I said. Chauncey Washington, I really don't want to risk throwing him on the practice squad, but at 62 overall, I have a hard time thinking that someone will sign him. So we'll give it a go there, risk it, as we're now 3 out of 14 on our cuts. Brady Christensen, I think we'll just keep as our swing tackle, 1 more year on his contract. Ike Emekonwu, another big free agent signing, going to have him as our starting left tackle. At left guard, we have KJ Lewis, Ty Eubanks, who we drafted in the 7th round last year. Isaiah Adams, Cade Moreland. I really like Isaiah Adams. We even gave him some reps at center, which he played pretty well. So he's pretty much our top backup there on the interior. Brian Allen will go ahead and cut. We just signed him here in in the preseason, but didn't really do anything to stand out. So KJ Lewis, I really like as an undrafted guy. We'll go ahead and put him on the practice squad along here with Ty Eubanks, which now leaves us with 5 linemen between left tackle, left guard, center. Now at right guard, we have Randy Samuels entering his 2nd season at Star Development. Also Will McMahon at 68 overall. I think we might throw him on the practice squad as well, but at right tackle, we have Jamie McLean, Christian Jones, Taylor Tyson, who we'll put on the practice squad. Christian Jones might throw him on the practice squad or keep him on this roster. Maybe it really comes down to we want Christian Jones, KJ Lewis, Will McMahon, who's pretty decent here at 68 overall. So at this point, I guess we have 9 offensive linemen. Probably only need 8, but we'll leave it like that for now. Dom Gilmore going to be our backup to Kwity Paye here at left end. Drafted him in the 5th round, although at right end now, Xavier Thomas now more of a backup spot, as we did sign Joey Bosa now up to 85 overall, but Xavier Thomas still going to have a very big role in our defense, especially after that tremendous preseason he turned in. Now entering his year 3 season. Ben Amaro, we saw him flash a little bit, had a sack there. I think we'll keep him as our 5th D end. And then KJ Henry had a half sack there as well, but now at 27 years old, 66 overall. Really no more practice squad eligibility, and no sense for him on the roster with some younger guys in front of him. Now at D tackle, Eric Alden will go ahead and throw him on the practice squad. No chance of him making this roster, so we'll have Caleb Patton, Darius Robinson, Bobby Brown III, and Moro Ojimo will keep for now. At linebacker, Andrew Van Ginkel, Jordan Walker will keep here at left outside linebacker. In the middle, I think we'll keep all 3 of these guys as well. Jerry Sexton, that linebacker with hidden development, who we just drafted. Going to work him in a lot this season as well. Groom him to take over for Jack Gibbons once Gibbons' contract runs out next season. At right outside linebacker, kind of want to keep all these guys. We still have to cut 5 more players. Probably going to cut a couple here at corner. Kendall Fuller, Max Melton, Nathan Scruggs going to be our top 3 guys, along here with Elijah Jones and Dak Kitchens. So I think we'll go ahead and cut Jaden Davis, and then we'll move Garrison Jones to the practice squad, which will leave us with 5 pretty solid corners. Dak Kitchens made a huge impact last year as a rookie. I may even like him more than Elijah Jones despite the ratings. Nathan Scruggs, hidden development at corner, going to be joined there by Max Melton and Kendall Fuller, who really provides, the veteran leadership here to this cornerback room. At safety, Devontae Gary, we'll just throw him on the practice squad. Dadrion Taylor Demerson, Derrick Forrest, Jalen Thompson, I think we'll keep all 3 of them. At strong safety, we have Matthew Torrance, who was a superstar development, but now down to star, as he lost his abilities. I didn't see that. I'm looking at progression history, and yeah, during Super Bowl week, his development trait decreased from superstar to star development, so I'm not really sure what that was about here for Matthew Torrance. 80 overall, 2nd-year man out of Auburn. Now we got to go back up here to safety. So I think we will keep Jamal Adams, even though he's 30 years old. Still, pretty young considering his experience in the league. I thought at this point he'd be a lot older. Started in year 1, we signed him as a free agent, more of a reserve role last season, but he was out there a good bit. But Kyrie Cherry here at 66 overall will move him to the practice squad, which now leaves us with 5 safeties in total. And then going up here to right tackle, right guard. We're going to have to make a decision here between Will McMahon, who was an undrafted free agent, I believe, brought in last season. Can also play tackle, 6'5", 317 out of Wake Forest, 87 strength, 75 run block, 70 pass block. The 63 pass block power, a clear weakness with 80 impact and 77 lead block. Really like KJ Lewis as well there at left guard, left tackle. Signed him as an undrafted free agent. Already put him on the practice squad, but I think he needs some more time there. So it really comes down to Christian Jones, opposed there to Will McMahon. Jones entering his 3rd season, 6'5", 318 out of Texas. Not as strong, but a lot more well-balanced than McMahon. So I think we will stick with Christian Jones here entering his 3rd season, and then throw Will McMahon there on the practice squad. So we have a few good offensive linemen there on the practice squad. I think 3 at 66 overall or better, as we'll get a look at our practice squad as we do trim the roster now down to 53 players. As I said, we'll get a look at the practice squad, which I think should be around 10 guys. Here, Garrison Jones leading the way, cornerback. 69 overall man-to-man corner, 93 speed, 95 acceleration, pretty explosive athlete. Not the best ratings though, 68 man and zone, well balanced there, but only 64 press, 61 play rec. I want to say he was a 5th round pick last season. I'm sorry, 7th round pick in year 1 of this franchise. 4 tackles last season, not much of a role, but still to get out there in a limited sample size. Ty Eubanks also on the practice squad last season. Like Garrison Jones, a 7th round pick from that year 1 season. 89 strength, 77 lead block with 88 impact block. So he really fits that power scheme, that power archetype, which we are not, but he was just too good of value in that draft. We already looked at Will McMahon, KJ Lewis, who I talked about. So some very good quality, practice squad offensive linemen here. I'm going to assume at least one of these guys gets signed elsewhere, but hopefully not, especially Lewis. I think He is my favorite out of the bunch. Then we have a couple safeties here. Kyrie Cherry was an undrafted free agent last year, along with Devontae Gary out of Miami. Dorian Golston, running back, we added as an undrafted free agent out of Utah. Taylor Tyson, another offensive lineman, 64 overall out of Kansas State. Eric Alden, another 7th round pick from last year out of LSU. And then Chauncey Washington, our very high upside tight end here at 62 overall. So with that, we're now into the regular season here. Year 3, we're going to face off against the New York Giants in week 1 from Snowhawks Stadium. The Giants were one of the worst teams last season, but they did sign DeMarcus Lawrence and Derrick Henry in free agency, although I'm not quite sure what they're working with at quarterback at this point. Last year it was Derek Carr. They have a few young guys here. So we are going to set our season win goal, and we can go 7 wins or make the playoffs. I think we're ready to make a playoff run. It might be a little aggressive, a little ambitious, but we got to set our standards high, after spending over $125 million, having a couple good drafts now under our belt. We're going to go ahead and set our season goal at making the playoffs. Now choose our draft class, and as we do, we'll just keep auto-generated rookies and just keep that a mystery. As we see here, the top 10 prospects in the draft. Number 1, Tyson Wakefield out of Notre Dame. I guess we'll go to this view. Tyson Wakefield out of Notre Dame, 6 foot 226, strong arm quarterback. Then we have Ben Davis here out of Fresno State, number 2 on the board, field general, 6'1", 235. Another quarterback here at number 5. So like last year, we have 3 quarterbacks here in the top 5. Cliff Bost out of UCLA, 5'11", 229 field general. So luckily for us, we already have our franchise guy. We have Leonard Bailey, left end out of USC. Zach Joseph, outside linebacker out of Michigan. Number 6, Lance Shivers out of Ohio State. Percy Bronson, right end out of Boise State. Kari Boone, free safety out of USF. Tommy Elliott here at number 9, strong safety out of Tennessee. And then number 10, Braxton Thomas, left tackle out of Stanford. So up here at the top, some quarterbacks, some pass rushers, potentially a couple offensive tackles here. Wide receiver Markel Pierman out of USC. Michael Aiken out of Louisville. And I think we're definitely going to want to target a receiver in this draft. We want to get someone there, a running bait there for Marvin Harrison Jr. Want to add another explosive element to this offense. The top running back, Mike Cheeks out of Oregon. We would like to get a dynamic running back if that opportunity presents itself. Another quarterback here, number 29, Rashawn Rice out of Purdue. A couple interior linemen here, some safeties, another few running backs here. But we're not going to look into the draft quite yet. A little too early for that, in this preseason episode. Although I do see we have had a practice squad player signed, as KJ Lewis was signed by the Cincinnati Bengals, as I predicted. I figured we'd have at least one of those guys plucked, and of course it was the one I liked the best, as KJ Lewis now on the Cincinnati Bengals. Looks like he's going to compete for even a starting spot on this team, as Artie Trout, a rookie out of NC State, even there at 66 overall. They also have Benjamin Williams, 3 rookies here at left guard at 66 overall, 2 of them, and then 1 at 65 overall. So a pretty weak offensive line, a couple injuries. Trent Brown hurt, Robert Hainsey, their center, hurt. So kind of playing musical chairs, the Bengals are, to start this season. We'll look at the Giants roster, get a little preview of what to expect in week 1. As we see here, Dexter Lawrence at 98 overall, the top player on this Giants team. Superstar X Factor. Best season of his career last year at 22 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks with a forced fumble. They have Malik Neighbors up to an 89 overall. Brian Burns, Bobby Okereke, Andrew Thomas at 88 overall. Derrick Henry now a member of the New York Giants. Definitely going to have to change that jersey number, but he signs a 2-year deal, I think it was, to come to New York. A 2-year deal at about $20 million. Now entering his 11th season. Now going down by position, it looks like Glenn Tyson, 2nd-round pick out of Notre Dame, is going to be the starting quarterback. 6'2", 208, 72 overall scrambler with hidden development, 88 throw power, decent accuracy ratings, especially there. 85 short accuracy, 83 throw on the run with 80 break sack, 91 speed, 89 acceleration, 86 agility. So they also have Kenny Pickett, Davis Mills, and Daniel Parker, a second-year quarterback there out of Dayton. So a loaded quarterback room there for the Giants. Cam Akers, and also Dimitri Dupree, who they drafted 8th overall in the draft. Really no rhyme or reason for that, especially after signing Derrick Henry, but they drafted Dupree anyway. 87 speed, 85 truck, stiff arm, 86 strength. So a very good power back, but probably could have went a different route. after signing Derrick Henry, Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt. So the receivers pretty much the same as they are here in present day. Theo Johnson, 77 overall at tight end. Andrew Thomas, 88 overall at left tackle, one of the best in the NFC. Isaac Samalo, now on the Giants. Austin Corbett. Ron McMahon, a second-year man there out of NC State. Aries Florence at right tackle was a first-round pick last season. Comes back with superstar development now, 77 overall, 87 strength. Very good across the board. Just really those power ratings need some work. Now on defense, DeMarcus Lawrence signs with the Giants. I think a one-year contract, upwards of like $25 million, as it was a $26 million deal. So they spent big money there going for Derrick Henry, DeMarcus Lawrence, two seasoned veterans. Darrell Taylor now with the Giants after spending last season with our Snowhawks. Dexter Lawrence, one of the best D tackles in the game. Kayvon Thibodeau at middle linebacker. Okereke, now 88 overall. Brian Burns. So two very good pass rushers there in Burns and Thibodeau. Drew Phillips, last year's Rookie of the Year on back in year one, was the Rookie of the Year on defense. Some other good corners here in Banks and Flott at safety. John Johnson III, now 30 years old. Joined there with Tyler Newman, Jake Moody at kicker, and Ryan Wright at punter. But with that, we're now concluded with the preseason episode, and we're ready to advance into the regular season as we are now here, as we just took a look at the Giants roster. And this is where I'm going to leave you folks. Thank you so much for watching. I wish we had a more eventful preseason for you, but as typical, it's probably going to be more bland here through these preseason episodes, just getting some of these backups in, these third, fourth stringers in, just to get some screen time for them, see what we have in them, and mainly just want to get those younger guys on the field, get them some XP, some experience as we continue to build this team. So playoffs on the horizon for us, hopefully, as we set that as our season goal here in year 3 of the Salt Lake City Snowhawks franchise. And I expect big things here. Now Lucas McDonald heading into his second season with a much more complete team behind him. But as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.